Happy Wednesday, everybody. How are you doing? Like, I feel like I'm like, what is in the, what part of my messy desk is in the view? Like, nobody wants to see my messy desk. It's pretty bad. Like, I am a messy Marvin. Are you guys like? Let me know in the chat. Like, are you guys messy Marvins too? Like, if I did a scan, you guys would be like, oh my god, how does she do that? So anyway, let me know in the comments where you are watching from and what you are drinking. I am drinking water and I am watching. I am coming live to you from Georgia, Stockbridge, Georgia. Let me know in the comments. Hopefully everyone can see me inside of the Facebook group. Make sure that I am broadcasting there. Doreen, nice to see you. Looking forward to working with you starting next week. All right, let me put you guys in this other. Let's put you over there. And see if I can maneuver both screens effectively. I usually am not that good. All right. Okay, I think. Okay, there, I see you guys now. All right, watching from, hey Brenda, I'm looking forward to working with you starting next week as well. Yes, so I need to, you guys will be getting an email from me tomorrow to talk about coaching days. So I'm very excited about this program that we've got coming on. All right, so for those that are out there, welcome to another episode of Travel Boss TV, where we're going to dive into some questions. So first question of the day, type a 1 if this is yes, or type a 0 if this is you. Okay, so the first question is, do you have a strong and engaged following on social media? Pick your platform, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, I don't care what it is. Do you have a strong following? If you're on Facebook, do you have people on your personal page that are your ideal clients? Do you have a business page that has followers? If you're on Instagram, how many people are following you on Instagram? Type a 1 if you have a strong following. Type a 0 if your following is not that strong, meaning you just got your friends and family on your pages on out there on the internet streets. So let me know in the comments. 1 if you have a strong following, 0 if you do not have a strong following. Okay, 0s. 1 on Instagram, that's good. Instagram is you guys, if any of you guys have ever been following me, you know that Instagram is like my Achilles heel. Drinking grape Kool-Aid. Trevor, always for the win on the drinks. always for the win, Trevor, on the drinks. I love that. Grape Kool-Aid. I have a story about grape Kool-Aid. So, back in the 90s, when you used to say, I'm all that in a bag of chips, and I would always say, in a glass of grape Kool-Aid, because grape Kool-Aid is like thebomb.com. Like, I don't drink Kool-Aid anymore, but I do love me some grape Kool-Aid. So always for the win. And if you're really a drinker, slip some vodka in that and you've got an amazing drink, and then freeze it, then you've got like a vodka grape sickle, which is like amazing too. All right, so lots of 0s on the first question. Some 1s, that's good. All right, next question is, are you regularly sharing high value content that showcases your expertise? Because at the end of the day, that's what we are. And if you aren't showing up in these internet streets on social media to your list or wherever you talk about how amazing you are as an expert, there is an opportunity for you to improve. So type a 1 if you are regularly releasing out high quality content showcasing your expertise. Type a 0 if not so much. If your internet streets, the only thing that you post are trips, you need to type a 0. If you do type expertise showcasing content, type a 1. All right, I'd like to see what we've got. So we've got some 1s, we've got some 0s, we've got a mixture there. All right, Last one is a bit of a technical question, but nonetheless, I'm going to ask it, which is, have you optimized your social media pages, your locations, your presence, so that your client can easily find you? So if your ideal client is looking for you, can they find you out there in the internet? Now, if you have a brick and mortar, maybe not so much, but I suspect that most of you don't have brick and mortars, and your face of your business is the internet, right? You are relying on the internet, social media to represent yourself. So do you make it easy for your client to find you? Type a 1 if yes, you do. Like, if you were to Google your niche, the person you specialize in, your name pops up somewhere, then you get to type a 1. If not, you need to type a 0. So can your ideal clients find you easily out there in the internet streets and, social media, social marketing platforms? Can they find you? All right, so we've got a lot of 1s. We got a few 1s, but we got, unfortunately, more 0s. And that's okay if you typed a 0 on any one of those questions, because that's why you're here. That's why you're inside of this group, because that's what we do, is we talk about we ask hard questions, and then hopefully you get the solutions to those questions. So before I dive into the topic and introduce myself, let's just talk about what visibility is, right? So this is one of my favorite topics because actually we're going to be doing, I'm going to talk about that at the end, but we're going to be doing something that's going to help with visibility. But really, what is visibility on social media? Some people are like, well, I need to be viral, and, I need to get 1 million followers, or I need to get, a lot of likes, or what have you. And that is a part of the definition of visibility. But really, the definition of visibility is actually went and searched and got it. And being visible on social media is really meaning that the content and the brand that you represent, so whoever you show up as, right? So whatever your specialty is, whoever you specialize in, is discoverable and noticeable by the people that you want to get out of town. Let me say that again. So it's not that you just create content that's visible to anybody, but that it's easily discoverable and noticed by the people that you want to help get out of town. So, I met with a client, prospective client. She's not my client, but a prospective client the other day. And she was like, I want to be known all over the world. And I'm like, why? Right? It sounds sexy, but it's very expensive. It's very, very time consuming, way more dollars and time than most of us have to be known by everybody. We're not McDonald's, right? We don't have McDonald's budgets. We don't have Burger King budgets. We don't have Coca-Cola budgets, right? So what you want to do is you want to be noticed by the people that you care to be noticed by. And so that's what visibility is. So if you don't have those 3 things that we just talked about, right? You don't have a following of the people that you want. You don't deliver content to the people that you want, and you're not easily discoverable by the people that you want. You make it very difficult to be visible. So that's what today's topic is all about, is how do you stop being visible and become visible to the people that you want. But before I continue, let me introduce myself, because there are some names on the list that I have never seen before. I don't know you personally. And so my name is Sunday Gardner, and I come to you live in this channel every week, talking all things launching and operating a successful and profitable travel business. And today, what we're going to talk about is how to stop being visible. And actually, I've got this really cool topic, how to stop being visible on social media. And what do you need to do that? What's the secret sauce, right? Many people think it's, okay, if I just get on Facebook, that's the answer. If I just get on Instagram, that's the answer. If I get on TikTok, whatever the social media, platform of your choice is, it takes more than just showing up on the platform. Before social media was a thing, I used to say, because it was websites, right? And it's still websites. Websites are still important to your business. But one of the things that I would say is, just because you build it doesn't mean that they will come, right? So if you build the website, it doesn't mean that people will find you. If you create content, it doesn't mean that people will see it. If you create videos, it doesn't mean that people will view them or consume them, right? So it takes more than just creation, right? There's a lot more strategy that needs to go in terms of getting visibility on that content, that video, or whatever fill in the blank thing that you're doing. So if you find yourself developing and creating stuff and you're not getting visible likes, people don't notice you, you're not getting engagement, there's something broken. So what we're going to do is talk about what are the things that we can do to stop that break point, right? So what I'm going to talk about today are 5. Well, before I talk about the thing, what I want you to say, because I really like formulas. I'm a techie kind of person. Like I've been proven that I'm not as technical as I thought I was, but I'm definitely way more technical than most people. And so I like formulas because they're easy for me to remember, and the concepts, it helps me remember things. And so when you think about visibility, I want you to think about this. It's about content, consistency, and repetition, right? And engagement. Like content, consistency, and engagement. Those are the 3 things, right? If you create content, but you don't promote it and you don't track it, it doesn't matter, right? So if you promote stuff that people don't want, it doesn't matter. So it's not like you can have each one of those 3 things separately and everything's going to work. It really is a formula that you need to have them all together. You've got to create content that allows you to engage in a consistent way so that people know you and they see you and they hear you and they start to get familiar with who they are. So when they're ready to go out of town and you pose the opportunity to go out of town, they'll be ready to go. We can't start on the back end of that, which is what travel agents like to do, travel advisors like to do, is they like to just start cold selling. Like, I've got a trip, I want you to buy it. I got a trip, I want you to buy it. I got a trip, I want you to buy it. And unfortunately, if they don't know you, I always say people will buy from William Shatner on Priceline.com before they buy you because they at least recognize who he is, even though many people don't know what Star Trek is, or is it Star Trek? Star Trek, not Star Wars, right? So he's a recognizable name. You're not. So you've got to spend some time making your name recognizable and who you are recognizable to the people that you want to help get out of town. So let's talk about that. Content is your number 1. I'm going to make some assumptions though. I'm going to make some assumptions that you know who you want to get out of town. We're not going to spend any time talking about your target audience and how you identify your target audience. I'm going to assume that you know the type of person that you want to work with, right? Can we agree on that? And while I'm talking, I want you guys to type some ideas in terms of who that person is. Because all this month, it's week 3, we've been talking about like the fact that target audience, we had training last weekend and we talked about target audience and the importance of that. So just type in the comments, who is the person that you want to get out of town? Type it in the audience and I'll use that as reference throughout this training, right? My number 2 assumption is going to be that you know the platform that you want to show up in, right? Is it Facebook? Is it Instagram? Is it TikTok? Is it YouTube? Is it LinkedIn? Is it Twitter? Whatever, that you know your platform, right? If you have those 2 things in mind, or you have an understanding of those things, then we're going to talk about really how do you show up and develop content that's going to make you visible, right? So that's what we're going to focus on. So type in the comments while I'm talking who you help get out of town. And you can also type what your choice platform is. Is it Instagram, Facebook? What's the platform that you want to play in? All right. So the formula is simple. That create, promote, and track. Like that's what I want you to think about. I want somebody to type that. Create, promote, and track. Like that's what you should be doing when it comes to social media, is that you should be creating engaging content for your target audience in the platform of your choice. You should be promoting that content on a continuous basis, and you should be tracking the performance. All right, create, promote, track. Those are the 3 things that we're going to do. So when it comes to creation, people have a hard time like, well, what do I create? Sunday, like, what am I supposed to create? Well, I've done posts and nobody's talking about them, right? So again, taking your ideal audience in mind, here are 5 ideas for content creation relative to travel advisors. Number 1, create destination specific guides. This seems like a no-brainer, but I certainly don't see enough of them. Particularly in the content that I see from people, I don't see destination specific guides. So you guys are doing fam trips. You guys are showcasing the fact that you're showing rooms on your fam trips, or you're either personally curated fam trips or fam trips that you go on, right? But how are you creating a destination guide for your audience that connects your audience to that location? How do you show up as the expert of that destination? Many of you guys are certified, you take supplier training. Somebody just did a really good post. I don't remember who it was, but I saw their post, and they just finished a supplier, and I don't remember which destination it was. So she posted her certificate, and then she was like, I'm out here learning my craft, right? And then she did this really great post about how, if you want, and she's doing this on her personal page. So if you want to learn more about fill in the blank, this is how you do it. She she did a picture of her certificate. But how do you connect the destinations that you love to the clients that you want to work with? How are you creating guides for that? It doesn't have to be like a 50-page color guide. It simply could just showcase specific features about the destination that your ideal client needs. Now, somebody typed families, right? So a destination guide, you could literally create multiple destination guides, and these don't take, they definitely don't take as long as they used to take to create, given, great AI technology that exists now. But literally a destination guide on families that focuses on different types of family construct, right? Multi-generational families, families with small children. You could create a guide on that. Why all-inclusive is a great place for, families with small children. How cruises are a great location. Going to the Caribbean, it's short, right? There's all sorts of things that you can connect to your ideal client to destinations inside of a guide, an in-depth guide to do that. Simple piece of content that connects your ideal client to destinations that you want to sell, and it's valuable because then those become downloadable things that people can reference. Those are things that you can put into a funnel, that you can start to collect emails. You can build campaigns around them. There's so much that you can do when you build a piece of content like that, and you can create multiple of them. You can create series around them. Let me know what you guys think about that. How many of you guys out there have already created a destination guide? How many of you created? Like, tell me, what destination is the last destination guide? I love video destination guides, right? So it doesn't always have to be written. Video is also a really powerful way to create an image gallery with words that you can create, you can overlay on top of image, right? Mexico, Mexico is amazing. I've got a friend of mine. She's in Los Cabos right now at LeBlanc, and she went live last night there, and she's creating a lot of video content there. And that destination, Los Cabos, and the resort that she's at, she's going to be able to create an amazing destination guide focused on that resort and why Los Cabos is so amazing. Okay, Maldives, and so one of the things too that I want you to think about is I keep using, and all this month I've been talking about Branch Up, and I do love the resource, but I do really think that there's so much more as advisors that we can utilize that content. Is that you can create, take that content and then create supplemental content from the information, the images that they create, the text that they're using, and create like mini destination guides from that. There's just so many ideas that I have just on that one topic. So number one is create destination specific guides and connect it to your ideal client. Number two is events. I love webinars and workshops. As you know, I love hosting them because it gives me an opportunity to create a PowerPoint presentation. I used to be known as the PowerPoint presentation queen, but it really does allow me to take all the thoughts. So if I wanted to talk about Maldives, I would want to talk about accommodations, activities. I would want to talk about the hottest attractions, the sort of not so hot attractions that are really the hidden secrets, right? And I would create a webinar or workshop on that destination. You can do it for, focused on your ideal client and why that destination is specific. But I love events because you can invite people, you can send them the replay, they become reusable content that you can do. So when it comes to showing up and showcasing your expertise, anytime that you can organize your thoughts and present them in an organized fashion through a workshop or a webinar is a really good idea. Now, most people think a webinar is where I'm trying to sell something. Webinar is just a really technical term for a video. It's just a long video organized that you invite people. And really, if you do it well, you're collecting email addresses, you're validating interest in a particular area. So if I were going to do a webinar on a topic for my ideal client, so let's say I'm going to use one of you guys as examples. So I'm trying to see what you guys said that you specialize in. You guys are giving me destinations, but okay, so somebody says couples. So if my ideal client was couples, I could do a workshop on the best romantic places to go, and I would showcase maybe 3 resorts that I want to sell as that, and I would hold an information session as a workshop, right? I could work. You could partner with a relationship coach. Like I know a couple of relationship coaches. I actually know a lady, and she came and spoke to us a couple of years ago, and she's a relationship coach. And you could partner with a relationship coach and have a relationship coach on, what are the best tips to stay connected as a couple in a busy world when you got a lot of work, a lot of kids and all of that, right? And how taking a vacation can help with that, right? I could do a workshop on that. I could partner with a relationship coach to do that if I were specializing in couples, right? Travel is the solution, right? But you could also utilize other experts in the area that people have. People need connection. We are very busy individuals with work, technology, right? I'm like addicted to technology right now. And so just remembering to disconnect and reconnect with your significant other, right? That's a big problem for people. There's so many things that distract them. So that's a thing that your couples may struggle with. Obviously, going on vacation is a way, but you got to get them out of town. And so that means you got to meet them where they are, which is right now struggling with trying to even think about finding time, right? So that would be a workshop I could do. I would want to partner with, if I was specializing in couples, I would have people that also specialize in couples, and I would be pitching to them ideas on how, one, I could offer travel as a solution for their couples, or how can they come into my community of people and talk to my community about their services, and then again, travel, a retreat, a honey vacation, a quick vacation, or a vacation to celebrate upcoming anniversaries or celebrations. Does that make sense? Like, my focus is the client, solution is travel, but you still have to meet them where they are right now, which is in town, probably miserable, fighting with each other. How do we get them into a happy space? Does that make sense? Like, that is, if you can do this well, selling trips is going to be the easiest thing that you do. Families, right? Families. I got a family. Everybody's got a family, and it's hard as heck given it's school time. The summertime is coming up. Have you thought about the summertime? What are some quick things, 3 months, 2 months before school's going to let out? If I was specializing in families, people with children in school, I would be writing content around how do, last minute summer ideas, travel ideas. What can you do? Workshops on how to put together quickly a trip and how I can help facilitate that. If you didn't think about your summer vacation, because it's springtime, summer vacation trip should already be planned, right? So I'd be working on that. I'd do a workshop on it, and I'd invite families to it. Like, have you thought about, like, okay, forget spring break. Like, have you thought about summer? I was about to drop the F-bomb. Like, have you thought about fall break? Like, you really didn't even think about fall break and Christmas right now. So that's what I would be doing in terms of a workshop. So that's number 2. Number 3 is educational blog post. I love writing. I write more than I promote. So I create more than I promote, but blogs are a really great way to be discovered, because if you do a blog, you can do a blog or a vlog, which is a video log, instead of a written log. both of those forms are a great way to be discovered. That's a longer game, but it is a great way to be discovered by your ideal client. So just like I said about families, I would create a series on planning the downtime at major events, and that's holidays, summer vacation. So if your clientele are families with children in school, college, or secondary school or elementary school, I would be talking about how to plan and considerations around planning my time, my family's time in those small windows of opportunity that I've got. So you've got summer break, you've got holiday break, and you've got spring and fall breaks depending on your school system. So I'd really be talking about that as content. I create sort of pillar content around that. I'd be blogging about that because spring break is right now hot in everybody's mind. Everybody's probably already got their plans for that. But the next largest break is going to be summer. So I'd write blogs about what you need to be doing right now in the month of March to get ready for summer vacation. What you should be doing now in March to get ready for the holiday season. Like I'd be doing a holiday special. I always do a holiday special in July for Christmas. So that's what I would do a blog about, right? So that's another idea. Number 5. So I liked this idea because it's really cold everywhere, unusually cold. And I say this, and I know you're like, where's she going with this, right? It's unusually cold because of climate conditions, right? And so one of the things that is becoming really hot topic in the travel industry is sustainable travel. Now, do I really understand what all that means? No, I personally don't. But I know I read some articles during COVID, maybe it was pre-COVID, but really about the cruise industry and its is it ecological? Is that the right term? Ecological impact on the cruise industry has on the world, right? Plastic straws, the waste that they create. So this topic that I'm saying is highlight sustainable travel practices. There are people who are very much interested in that, right? Like reducing our ecological footprint. And this is a political issue, but I do think it's important. If it's something that's important to you to talk about, then relate how these suppliers are really doing something about that, and that you as a business owner has made a decision to work with those kinds of suppliers that really are taking the earth and its impact on the earth important, right? So this is kind of a stretch. Maybe you don't care so much about that, but if you do, that's a great topic to talk about. Really find those suppliers that really are trying to have a positive impact on the earth and the world at large, right? In terms of implementing practices that do that, and your connection to those suppliers, that's going to make you stand out from your competitors, because I don't think near enough people are talking about it, but I definitely think it's a topic worth mentioning. All right, so those are 5 content ideas in terms of create, right? So if you know who your ideal audience is, you then implied in that is you understand who they are. If you don't know who they are and you just have generic statements, right, then I encourage you to join me at the next week inside of our social media accelerator program, where we're really going to be unpacking unpacking that very thing. Like, who is it that you want to help get out of town? And then how do you create content that's going to match where those people are so that you can become visible to them? So those are 5 ideas. So the next part of the formula is to promote. Well, how do you promote? So let's say you create a guide. Let's say you create an event, right? It does you no good if you create the thing and you don't promote the thing. So I am like notorious. I am a creator. Like, raise my hand. I create. I literally just had a book idea and I spent way more time today working on it than I should have, because I have other things that I'm supposed to be working on, right? But I am a creator. If you're an entrepreneur, you have the create gene. End of story. Like, so if you're an entrepreneur and you are in this and you're like, it doesn't matter how many times you fail and you're like, I am still doing this business, you are an entrepreneur at the core. So creation is not usually the problem. It's promoting what you create. A lot of people struggle with this. Like, how do I take a thing that I do? Like, I've worked with many of you all in the past, and you guys have stranger offers, you have opt-in offers, but you've done nothing to promote it, right? So if you create a thing without promoting the thing, it's not going to do you any good. It's just really wasting your time. Like, you waste hours upon hours creating a thing, but you've got to promote it. So if you have a Facebook group and you don't promote it, if you have an opt-in offer and you don't promote it, if you've got a certificate that you have specialized in a particular destination and you don't promote it, right? Do you guys getting it? Like, if you do a thing and you don't promote the thing, you're effectively not going to get results. You have to promote, and you have to get into the practice of creating and then promoting. So as much time as you take to create a thing, you have to have equally as much time dedicated to promoting. And so promoting is not a singular activity. So you don't promote, it's promoting, because it's multiple. It's like multiple variations of the same thing, right? You've got to promote a thing until you're sick of it. And then you still need to promote some more. And it's probably still not enough. Like, I want you to walk away from tonight's training understanding the amount of promoting that you need to do when you create a thing. Doesn't matter what that thing is. If it's a piece of content, if it's a package that you want to sell, if it's a group trip, if it's a service, it doesn't matter. Promote it. And if you think you're promoted, you probably need to do 10x more of that. Okay, so what does it really mean to promote a thing? Is I create a blog, I create a guide, I create a workshop, right? You got to promote. So here are some ideas on promotion. Over the weekend when we did our class, I talked about 2 ideas: organic or paid. I love paid because it's easy. It's hard to set up initially, but once you get it set up and you got it working, you decide on how much money you want to spend, and then you spend it and you get in front of the people that you want. You get that thing in front of the people that you want. So if you go through the pain of understanding how it works, meaning paid advertising works, you learn how to do it, or you pay somebody to do it for you, right? Once they figure out your audience, you literally have a faucet of being able to get your things, your content, your promotions, your sellable items in front of people. So paid advertising is my choice. Organic ways are free choices, right? So you don't put money, but you got to put time. And those things are usually slower, but that's the way that you promote. So if you create something, like if you do a post around a topic, right? Next time you guys do a post around a topic, what I want you to be thinking about are, what are 5 ways that I can talk about it 5 times in a week, right? 5 times. Like, I'm just going to give that number, 5 times. How can you talk about that thing that you create at least 5 times in a week? Can you repost it 5 times? Can you do it in an email? Can you do it in a post? Can you create a video around it, right? What are the 5 ways that you can promote that thing that you create? If you can get in the repetition of that, right? So 5 times this week, when are you going to do it again? When are you going to do it again? When are you going to do it again, right? So I normally do cycles in 3, right? But depending on the length or how far in advance I'm doing a thing, if I'm promoting an event or a sale, I'm going to have multiple cycles. I'm going to do 3 cycles. I'm going to do 5 cycles of promoting that same thing over and over and over again, right? Like, so promotion is not a one-time thing. I don't do 1 post and that's it. I don't do 1 email and that's it. So if I create something, I want people to interact with it. And maybe they don't interact with it the first time, right? Maybe it wasn't that great of a post. Maybe it wasn't that great of an idea, whatever. The point is that I'm going to do the next thing, which is track it to see how well it does, right? So there's going to be cycles around that thing that I do, and then I'm going to track the performance of it so I can see is it something that my audience likes, or maybe they don't like it, right? Maybe I need to do more of it. Maybe I need to deliver it in a different way, right? So that's really the secret sauce when you think about it. So it's promoting. You got either free ways or paid ways. That's That's really it. Like, it's either free ways or paid ways. And there's different strategies in the free ways and the paid ways. We went over some of that on Saturday. And we'll go over that inside of the Acceler program. But really, it's how are you going to get it in front of? And so what I will say about like social media platforms, the reason why I made the assumption that you know your platform is because the way that you get visible in the platforms differs, right? How I get visible on Facebook is different than how I may get visible on YouTube, right? Is different than how I may get visible on Instagram. So when it comes to creating content and promoting that piece of content, even Pinterest as an example, right? Each of those platforms have a different way that you can organically be seen, or if you have to pay for traffic to be seen. And so you've got to really understand the dynamics of the platform that is your choice. I think somebody said Facebook was their choice. I think in the comments, I'm going to go back and look. Someone said Facebook and Instagram, and those, even though they're owned by the same company, the way that you're visible in those platforms are different. Instagram is a organic platform that's really driven by hashtags, right? Making sure that you have hashtags and you're doing active engagement with people, with your followers. Facebook, if you want to be seen on Facebook, you got to pay for it. Like, it's like there really is no, outside of Facebook groups, there really is no strong organic way for you to be visible on Facebook without you either going into someone else's group, having your own group. But other than groups, there's no, like, they've got tagging, but it's certainly not as strong as YouTube and Instagram. So if you want to be visible on Facebook, like, you just got to pay for it, because it's a pay to play platform. I say that all the time. It's a triple P. And if you want to be visible, he makes it so easy to be visible if you just spend some dollars on it. But that's the way it is. YouTube, same thing. It's got its strategy on how you organically, you can pay for traffic on YouTube. You can also become organic. You can get traffic organically, right? So understanding the platforms is really critical for promotion. Most people will tell me, when they think about social media and Facebook, they'll say, well, I've got my personal page. Facebook shut that down. Like, I would say definitely in the last 2 years, your personal page, visibility on your personal page naturally is systematically controlled. It's called the algorithm. I know you probably have heard that term. And what does that mean? Is that they've specifically written code in the application that prevents just everybody that's affiliated with your personal page, your business page, to just see what you have to say because you posted. So unless somebody is interacting with your content, it's not likely, no matter how large your personal page is, that they're seeing it. So they have to like your post. They have to interact with your post and your content. So that's why the strategy on when you post and how you ask for engagement and how you connect with that, with those posts is so critical for your success. So if you're just posting on Facebook and you're not getting, people aren't liking and they're not interacting, and you're like, nobody's doing anything, it's not likely that they're even seeing it, right? That's one thing. And two, if they are seeing it, it's a very small percentage of people. And then if you're not doing extra steps to ensure that it becomes more visible to people, then you're never going to be visible. So again, you could create content, you can promote it, but if you don't know the platform, then it's still going to fall on its ass, right? Does that make sense? Like, I hope that gets, like, it's very important that you understand the platform, the way the platform expects for the behavior of its users and how it delivers content to the users organically. And then also, like, when it comes to paid traffic, I don't have to worry about all these gimmicks, right? I don't have to worry about if Facebook's going to show it. If I put it in ads, Facebook's going to show it to my target audience. Period. Like, that's it. Like, I don't have to engage with people. I don't have to do, it's just going to show it because I'm paying for it. And that's the way that platform works. All right. Okay. So the T, or the third part of the formula is tracking, which is don't create a thing without promoting a thing, and don't promote a thing without tracking the thing, because how do you know if it's successful or not? How do you know if it's doing well? If you don't understand the metrics of what you're doing, then you don't really understand if you should do more of it or less of it, or scrap it if it was a good idea or not. You're going on emotion. And we're all very much emotional creatures. I'm very emotional. And so I am also emotionally, I am emotionally driven. My decisions are based on emotion. So I know that about myself. So what I want to do is eliminate decisions based on emotion and make decisions based on facts. So this is the reason why I'm such a big proponent of numbers, because the numbers don't care how I feel. They don't care what I think about, a particular post. Like I literally, early in my video career, I would get a video and I would delete it because I didn't like the way my voice sounded, or like my hair was sticking up, or I didn't have makeup on, or whatever. Instead of keeping a video based on performance, I was making decisions on, should I keep content out in the YouTube streets or whatever, based on how I felt. I still, to this day, like, if I don't like a video that has gone well, I have to give myself 24 hours to 48 hours before I bring it down to see if it gets engagement. If I get comments on it, I keep it up regardless of how I feel about it. Does that make sense? Like, so I still emotionally am tied to the output of what I do, but the numbers drive my decision. So if you're not tracking your stuff, you don't know if it's really good or not. And you certainly shouldn't be doing anything based on the emotional. I mean, I am like super emotional, particularly when it comes to video and images and all that. I'll be like, my graphic artist, Jam, she is like, so if you guys don't know Jam, she is like my right-hand person and has been for years. And she is what makes me look so good, but I drive her insane. She's so sweet. Like, she never complains. But I'm like, you can't use that picture. What are you doing? And she's just like, Sunday, just let it go. I'm like, no, that picture, look, that's horrible. You can't use that picture. So again, I do things based on numbers. So I just tell you that story is like, I get it. Like I don't like the way my voice sounds. I like the way I look. My head's shining. My head's too big. Whatever. Doesn't matter. I got all these emotional things that I can't do things by. And so now I try to just divorce the emotion, make decisions based on metrics. So same thing for you. I remember I was doing a blog. We were blogging. I was blogging every week. I was writing blogs, and I was driving the team insane. I was like, we are gonna release a blog every week. I don't care if it kills us all. I was like hell bent on creating content. I did nothing to promote it, right? So I mean, the team, like, I had like a team of people in 2020 and 2021, and we were like churning out content. We were doing blogs, we were doing the TV production, we were doing a podcast. We were churning out content, and I wasn't tracking the metrics, and so nobody was watching it. Nobody was watching the TV because we didn't SEO our YouTube. Nobody was listening to the podcast. Now, don't get me wrong, I had a few people listening to the podcast, but it wasn't matching the output, right? Because we didn't have a promotion strategy on all of that. So I was so focused on the creation, and I wasn't focused on the tracking or the promotion. And so we spent a lot of time, we spent a lot of money. I got a lot of content. I literally do not have to do a video again for the rest of the year, and I could go to my archives and just release that for the rest of the year. That's how much content we've got. All right. So what I'm telling you is, I get it. Like, I've been there. In my own business, I get it. So follow these principles, and you're going to see positive results in your travel business if you create, promote, and track. Spend less time creating, more time promoting and tracking. You're going to see results. So listen, that's all I got today. I don't really have any more. That's it. That was a lot. And so what I want to do is let you know, just in case you've been under a rock, you've been super busy, you missed the posts, you missed the emails, and you have no idea that we are about to launch on Monday, the 27th, we're about to launch Social Media Accelerator program. That's going to be a 6-week program where I'm going to help you do all of the things that we've been talking about this month. So primarily what we're going to be focused on is making sure that you understand who your audience is, creating yourself at minimum a 30-day content plan so that you understand the kind of content that you're going to do, where you're going to be delivering that content, how do you promote it. We're going to be focused on 2 types of promotions. We're going to be talking about Facebook boosting. We're going to also talk about how to get leads on Facebook. So we're going to also do paid advertising, one sliver of that, which is their lead form. We're going to be talking about how to promote it and then also how to track it. So listen, if you need help with like putting all this together, the accelerator program is where you need to be. We're going to be doing it for 6 weeks. Once you learn the skill, you're going to be able to apply it on any piece of content, any promotion, any product that you want to sell. You want to go to Jamaica, you want to do a group trip, you want to sell it out, right? How do you do that? How do you build a content strategy around that trip and then promote it and release it and then sell it, right? That's what we're going to be going over in the accelerator program. Listen, I hope that you join me, and all you need to do is type accelerator. That's kind of a complicated word. Just type social media, and I'll get you the link, get you more information about that. Enrollment ends on Friday. We start Monday. We will have a special Facebook group for our social media students where we will be coming inside of that community every week. I'll be dropping recorded training for you to do. There'll be live coaching every week. You'll have a Facebook group of your peers where you can do. And then I just thought of this. Right, preparing this, I'm like super excited about this. We're going to end the 6 week with my video challenge. I have not done a video challenge with our community in 2 years. Like, I don't think we did one last year. I'm almost positive we didn't do a video challenge last year. So the last one I've done was back in 2021. So we will be ending the 6 weeks with a video challenge. And if you've participated or heard of that, you know how exciting it's going to be. And that's what we'll be ending that program with. Listen, all you have to do is type social media, and I will reach out to you. Either myself or Jalen will reach out to you, and we'll get you the information on the program. We start in 3 days. You don't want to miss out, because listen, who wants to do this by themselves? You want help. We're here. I'm specifically going to be here to help you get it done. All right. I'm going to pause and see, like, how are you guys feeling? Like, how do you feel about today's topic? Because we've got one more week of social media, and then it's a wrap. We're done. And then I'm going to be sort of on a hiatus supporting our students inside of our social media accelerator program. So let me know in comments, how have you guys liked this series? How has the series been for you? How do you guys feel about your social media presence? I think we had such an amazing turnout in our masterclass on Saturday. Really enjoyed that class. It was interactive. I think the light bulb went off for many of the students that joined us. I really enjoyed that masterclass, and I'm so looking forward to our accelerator program. So we've got several enrollments already into the accelerator program, and I can't wait to start working with you. Thanks, Priscilla. I really appreciate that. Jade, I'm glad that you enjoyed it. I think Jade, you were on in our class on Saturday. Let us know. Did you guys love the class on Saturday? How many of you guys were on the class Saturday? Did you enjoy it? Yes, Danielle, absolutely. The recording, I think I sent that out in email on Saturday. So the recording is absolutely there for those who purchased the masterclass. The replay and all the workbooks are inside of the class. That's right, Katisha. If you just need to do it, then you need to join us in the accelerator, because I will help you get it done. So really, the accelerator program is really about taking the concepts that we've learned over this month and really putting them in action. And then we'll end with a really intensive challenge that's going to force you, strong arm you, not strong arm you. It's actually, it's scary for a lot of people, but it actually is pretty fun. Perfect. Awesome, Nicole. I'm glad that you enjoyed last week. Nita says you have to watch the rest. No problem. It was your birthday, Priscilla. And hopefully you had an amazing birthday. I saw your cake on that you posted. It looked yummy. Thanks, Brenda. Looking forward to working with you, Brenda. All right. So listen, You guys all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. For those that enrolled in the Social Media Accelerator program, I will see you next week. We will be dropping our first lessons on Monday. You'll be getting an email from me tomorrow, Friday at the absolute latest, but I am intending to release the welcome email and information that you need to know about the course tomorrow. Thank you, Jeraine. Thank you so much. And I will see you guys on the flip side. So we'll have one more session next week that will end the social media series. And then I'm actually going to be taking a hiatus for several weeks as I work with our social media accelerator students. So I'll probably take a month off and come back in May. So listen, have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Good night.